Hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and can you believe it's Sunday already? This week has just flown by. It's been super busy for me, super busy for everybody, and I'm going to do my second installment of my little critters from the Sunsational stamp set, and here's a couple of them that are already colored up. I think I just kind of previewed those before. Let me see if I can get them to clear up here. Come on, guys. Oh, sometimes it's easier if I just do one at a time. You know, I just can't get the gist of this. Okay, anyway, you've seen them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on a cute little gift box because I've got some celebrations that I'm going to do at school where we give things to certain people on certain days and make them queen for the day and make them feel really great about the job that they do. And these are perfect for that. So I'm going to show you how to make the little box, and that's what we're going to do. I want you to go ahead and get one piece of 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, just like this. I'm just going to use white. You can use any color that you want because you can stamp on it, change it, alter it later on. And you can get 2 of them out of this sheet. So you're going to want to cut it directly in half this way so that you've got a 5.5 piece and a 5.5 piece. And it's 5.5 by 6 7/8. You'll end up with 2 pieces that look like this. 5.5 by 6 7/8. And then for the little tag on the front, if you want to put the tag on the front, you save these 2 little pieces that are left over and you cut one at 2 5/8 by 1 1/4 and one at 2 3/8 by 1. And that'll fit on the front. I'll go through that again. And then we're going to do some scoring. So I'm going to bring you down to the table and show you how to finish this up. Okay, one note. Some of you guys are going, oh my gosh, Jen, like you just like rattled off all those measurements and directions and you didn't give us anything on the screen, and I just feel like I'm overwhelmed now and I just can't finish your video. I'm going to put an actual picture. It's right here. Okay, I'm going to put this in as a photograph, or you can pause it right now, so that you can see all of the scoring and all of the measurements, okay? And the little X's like right there and right there mean that we're going to cut it off. So those of you who want to pause it, actually I'm not even going to do the picture. Those of you who want to pause it, write down the measurements and just gung-ho get to it because you've been there, done that. You feel free. The rest of you guys come down to the table, I'll walk you through it. Okay, we're going to take the long side on the top, which is the 6 7/8, and we're going to do some scoring. The first one's going to be at 3/4 of an inch, and then 1 3/8, 2 3/4, 4 1/8, 5.5, and 6 1/8. And I've already put out all of those measurements in the beginning on the little yellow sheet that looks like this. So if you're having trouble, go back and write those down. And now we're going to turn and do the last 2 score lines, which will be at 1 3/8 and 4 1/8. And then each corner will have 2 little rectangles. Those are the parts that we're going to cut off. These 4 corner rectangles. Okay? I'm going to show you how I cut this one off. Just cut it in from each side. You're just going to cut off a square, but if you look at your the marks, it looks like you're cutting off 2 rectangles or 1 small square, and there'll be 4 of them. So if you're working along with me, we should have almost all of them done by now. All 4 of them cut off. And then it's going to look like this. The next thing we want to do is we want to create a notch in this middle square and this middle square. So all we're going to do is cut down each one of those lines and then cut in at a diagonal on each one. And I like to cut that down just a tad so it's not quite so long, so I cut it in about half. So you see what we're left with? We're going to do the same thing on the other side. This center square, there's 3 squares. We're only cutting the center one. We're going to cut up on both sides of that square and then cut it at an angle. So you're cutting off basically a little triangle, and then just go ahead and cut off about half of that so that you've got another notch. And now your piece should look like this. And once you do all of the folding, which you can use your bone folder for, or you can just use your fingers, and you put it all together, it'll make a cute little treat box. So let me clean up my mess and then we'll finish this up. Once you got those 2 pieces cut out, the 6 7/8 by 5.5, and we've already done this to it, okay? Now before we put it all together, we want to make sure we add our finishing touches. These main panels, these 3 large rectangles, are what's going to show the most, because everything else is going to be all tucked together in the box, as you can see, once we put it together. So I'm going to add a little pizzazz to mine by adding in this Paper Studio wood grain background, and I'm going to try to cover as much of the card as I can by hopefully getting those 3 panels in there, and it looks like it just covers it. And I'm going to run that through the Cuttlebug, and then I'm going to add some color to that. Okay, this paper and that embossing folder did not stand up very well to that. It's really, this piece even fell off. So how I'm going to remedy that is that I'm going to put it right back where it was, and I'm just going to add a little bit of tape to the back so it doesn't further fall apart, because I still want to use it. I think it's totally still usable. So put it right back where it was, tape it up, it'll be just fine. Anywhere that I see that I've got some places that are really coming apart, especially down these center pieces, I'm just going to put a piece of tape on there to hold it together. And then I'm going to flip it over, because this is the side that's going to show, and I want to add some color to that. So I'm going to brayer, this is a brayer, I'm going to brayer and roll on some color. Now because he's brown, I don't want to do maybe a total brown again, but maybe a pink to match his ears, because this is going to go to a lady at school, and she is going to be queen for the day, and we're going to do some really fun things for her all day long, and this is going to be one of her treat holders. So it's going to say, "I think you're very sweet," with the little bear on it. How cute is that? So I'm going to roll some color onto here. I'm using pink in my case, but you can use whatever color you want. I'm doing it this way, then the parts that did not get embossed, I mean with this, you know, really cool pattern, are going to become a reddish pink. So if that shows, it'll be no big deal. Okay, I'm happy with that color. So all I do for my brayer is just wipe it off with a baby wipe, and all I'm doing is wiping and twisting, so that I make sure that I get that color off all the way around. And then I just stick it back in my holder and close my ink up. So I'm done with that step. And then it should be pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to put another piece of tape on there because I don't want it to rip off. Not all of my folders are that sensitive or that like heavy. How do I explain it? But for some reason that one really is. It's really, really bad. This one's like totally falling apart. My poor little tab. Okay. Now I'm just going to go back over gently where my score lines were so that I can get this put together. Right. I want this little tab to go on the inside, so I want one to go on the inside and one to go on the outside so that it covers that up. That piece is going to maybe need another extra piece of tape. There we go. Okay, I'm going to use my glue, my wet glue, because once that adheres, it will totally stay. So I'm going to put some glue on the inside of this tab and put one of these on the inside and glue that together. Okay, and then to glue the other flap, you just put your glue on the whole outside of this piece, and then you bring this one over this way, right over the top. And just try to make sure that your edges line up the best you can. There we go. Okay, the same is going to happen on the other side. Put a little glue on this tab and bring one piece over and glue that. And then this time I'm just going to glue the whole thing and glue that one over the top. I've got a big hole here, but I'm going to go ahead and tape that from the inside. And that tapes up the hole. No big deal. This one, where that fold is in the middle here, we're going to fold those two backwards because they're going to come together at the top and hold the box together like that. So you can choose to poke holes in there and put a string in to tie it shut. You can poke one hole right in the center and put a little string in there to tie it shut. And then you're going to put your candies on the inside. And then the little bear, of course, is going to go on the outside, but we don't want him just all by himself. So we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of grass and make him standing in the grass on the outside. So cute. One other thing that I do want to mention is those two little pieces that I had said that you could use. They are for this front piece right here. So if you're not doing like a scene or anything and you just want a plain white box with a little bit of decoration here, the two measurements that you want to use these last two pieces for from your 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper are these two measurements at the top. You want one larger piece at 2 5/8 by 1 1/4, and then a smaller, like maybe a white piece that you're going to stamp your sentiment on or do an image or whatever you want to do on there. That one's going to be 2 3/8 by 1 inch, and that way they'll set right on top of each other, and they're going to go right here on the top of this box. I'm skipping that part for today, but you have the measurements, so you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and glue my grass on. This is going to be so fun when she gets it. I love giving people stuff. They get so excited. And I think I'm even going to pop dot him up. So I'm going to give him a little pop dot for his face and his body and pop him right off of there. So cute. I love the wood grain background. I think that really made it pop. And then I'm just going to go from the inside and press that down so that stays. Okay, and then he's going to look like that right on that treat box. And then for mine, I think I'm going to put a hole right in the center. And I'm running close to my time where my camera's going to shut off, so let me finish this in just this next part. Alright, I'm going to hold these two pieces together here, and I'm just going to do one circle right in the middle. You're welcome to do one on each side. That's the way I saw it when I originally found this video, and then for me, I'm going to put this right through here. Actually, I think I'm going to double it in half. put it through the 2 holes, and then you've got this little loop here. You're just going to stick these 2 pieces right through the loop and pull up, and that will totally like close off your treat bag. And then you can cut those and make it a little bit shorter. Since I have so much of it, I don't want to waste it. I'm going to make another one. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that right in half. Do the same thing. So you fold it in half. You put the loop part in from the back side. And then when you have that loop in the front, right here, you're going to put your 2 extra pieces from the back straight through that loop and then pull up. And it makes a cute little closure. Super fun and easy. And it's really quick. Once you know how to make one, you can go ahead and make a whole bunch of them in no time flat and then hand them out as gifts for any occasion. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you do join me for the next one. It'll be the 3rd part in our critter series for the Sunsational stamps, and I'll see you guys next video.